What's up guys, this is me, Kelvin from Phoenix Fan TV. As you guys would have known from previous videos and during the interviews and stuff, we've let you know that we're becoming in Auckland. We're actually here now, we're in the hotel room. Obviously there's me here, Eli across the table and Justin in the centre. Pretty much what we thought we'd do is give like a mid-season review or 3/4 of the season review on like how we've done so far, and give sort of a prediction for the match tomorrow against Melbourne Victory. Obviously that's a huge game, big vibe in Auckland at the moment and that, and also who we rate as our best performers for the club this season and our worst performers. Not that we're going to slate anybody, but maybe players who necessarily could have done better, and top signing from the window at the start of the season, and our overall season predictions, so where we think we're going to finish from all of us. Boys, I guess for tomorrow's game, we'll go for you first, Justin. Obviously big game, big crowd, expecting about 25,000 people at Eden Park tomorrow, maybe even more. I mean, what do you think the outcome will be?
I think, to be honest, we might concede, although I think we'll be pretty confident of the win. We've drawn with them twice this season so far, and I think we can definitely hold on to a lead.
Yeah. We'll go for you, Eli, next. Obviously, as we were saying, big game and stuff. Bit of an insight in our past two games against Melbourne, I think. I'm not sure what the result was. It was 1-1 over at Amy Park, and then we were up 3-1 and then conceded 2 and got the draw at Amy Park, which is obviously not the result we were wanting. So do you reckon we can sort of grab the lead and hang on this time and get a result, or what are your thoughts?
And that's the whole thing, basically, is we've got to look at it this way, is we've got to look at it. We were away, so obviously we're going to be against the pressure when you have 20,000 Melbourne fans, giving you shit. And so, like, I think with us, if we can get a 2-0 lead early into the game, and the Knicks will have the backing of us, so I think we can easily get the win tomorrow, And they don't have Ola Tuivinen, so he can't score those gem little tap-ins. So, yeah.
Yeah, in terms of scoreline, because obviously we'll get it from you as well, Justin, what do you think the scoreline's going to be in particular?
Well, I'm going to say 2-1. Obviously they're going to get a Melbourne goal, and yeah, we should hold on. So yeah, 2-1. Yeah.
In terms of actual score prediction, Justin, what are your thoughts? What do you think it'll be?
I'm thinking maybe 3-2. I think Melbourne are definitely capable of launching a good attack with Barbarouses, and Honda definitely firing on their good days. But I think we can hold on to the lead.
Yeah. In terms of my opinion, obviously it's going to be a very tough game, as Melbourne have proven. We've taken leads and they've come from behind in both games, especially from 3-1 down. But I think with the backing of the fans, the vibe around the club at the moment, the vibe around this game and the one-off game in Auckland, I think surely for the possible club record that's going to be set, you'd have to think that the boys would probably have some sort of result. So I'm going to say, I'll say 3-1 to us. I'd say Krishna will get a brace. I don't know whether it'll be a penalty or not. Yeah, and then I'd say David Williams and maybe Mandy. So that's my scorer predictions as well. But in terms of the whole season overall so far, we'll go for you first, Eli. What are your thoughts, obviously, because first came up against Newcastle, 2-0 win, 2-1 win. I mean, we didn't score very great goals at all. I think one was an own goal, one was just a very lucky goal. But I mean, and then we dropped off. I think we lost 3 games in a row the game after that. And then we just hit this amazing run of form after getting a draw against Perth, which obviously we all still think we were robbed of. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the season as a whole so far and how we've progressed since the start?
Well, I think I speak on behalf of all Phoenix fans. It's been something we didn't expect. But yeah, obviously it's been great turnaround from obviously the last few seasons, but I got to say, like, I don't back the people who say, oh, forget about that game. We're in a good position. Where we didn't expect to be. We're overachieving. But we've got to stop looking at that. We've got to start thinking we should have won lots of games that we just dropped points. We should have won against Perth. Obviously VAR had a play in that. Not talking about the 3-0 loss. Newcastle game, we should have had that game 3-0 up before they scored their goal. And it was just little games like that where we should have put the game to bed. But I think we're doing good, and if we keep on the form, we'll be playing finals football this season.
Yeah. In terms of the season so far, Justin, as we were saying, started off well, hit 3 losses in a row, and then got on this amazing run of form, and then suffered a loss near after, but we hit back straight against Melbourne City, who were in the fight for the top 4 with us. Like so far in the season, how do you think we've done, considering to previous seasons?
Well, I think we've had good players in every part of the field, which is not something that we've had before. We've had strikers that score goals, but then we leak the goals and we lose eventually. We've had great attackers. Roy Krishna's been great every single season he's been with us, and he's still pretty good this season. But it's just we now have good midfielders. Mandy's sometimes playing really far forward, so he's intercepting the ball really high up the field. The other opposition teams don't know what to do when you lose the ball in their own half. And our 2 centre backs, Durante, who's definitely nearing the end of his career, still going strong, and the deployment of 2 wing backs, they don't really defend at all, and you don't see them run against the opposition wingers because they're looking for the chance to sprint down the line as soon as they lose it. But other than that, our players have just been good overall.
Yeah.
Obviously, Philip Kurto and the last game where Ollie Sal debutised, both very, very good.
Yeah. On the topic of Durante, and obviously Taylor's been class as well, with his record shown at Newcastle in the Premier League and coming from Portsmouth. In terms of Durante, there's been speculation saying it's been his best season ever in the A-League, but I mean obviously he won it, I think his first or second season with the Jets. He won his inaugural A-League title, but would you say this has been Durante's best season ever in his career, or coming to the late stages of his career, or?
I think he's definitely stepped up through the past seasons. Whenever things didn't go well, it was Durante probably looks like he should probably retire. When Ben Sigmund left to go finish up football, everyone expected Andrew to do so as well, but he's still hanging on. And this season, it's that change of attitude that Mark Rudan spoke about. You don't want players to be repeating every single season. I think Durante winning, I don't think he won the inaugural A-League, but he did win it with Newcastle in I think 2008. But he's just one of those players that were just part of the team, and the team did very well that season and won the league. But this season he's definitely, he was always our club captain, but now he's just really showing it on the pitch as well and bringing good results.
Yeah. In terms of obviously new players coming in and Durante being brilliant for us this season, in terms of if you had to pick one top performer, we'll say, obviously because we've had great performances over the pitch, we'll say defensive and attacking players. We'll start with you, Justin. Who do you think's your best attacking player for the club this season?
I think definitely Roy Krishna, but David Williams is also very equally as good because they're basically mirrors of each other. They both play very similarly, and they confuse the other team so well.
In terms of a defensive player this season, including midfielders like Mandy and that, and then our defensive backline, who do you think's been the best performer this season in terms of defence?
I'm thinking definitely Stephen Taylor. He reads the game so well. Even though he's got Durante right next to him, he'll look over to the right and check on Fenton, seeing if he's all good. And sometimes Durante's not as fast to get back, but Stephen Taylor's making quite the effort to defend, right down if he's the last man.
Yeah.
But also I think some of the midfielders have proven themselves very, very resourceful in defence. Mandy's is not just defending when the other team has the balls. Well, it is, but he's done very well to win balls in the opposition half. did quite a few of the like clearances, especially in the Western Sydney Wanderers game, and I think the Sydney game. Mandy just intercepted them as the teams were trying to hurriedly clear the ball, and I think Mikhail Kopczynski's also done well, because he was brought in as a midfielder, but sometimes our defensive lines lacking a bit. So he's done well in defence. He last week I don't think he did too well, but this overall, yeah, some of our midfielders are also pretty good at defensive work.
Yeah. Eli, in terms of your top performers, in terms of, you'd say, attacking and defensive players, who do you think's been your best attacker this season? You can have a near favourite maybe if you would like as well.
Well, I'm going to change it up a bit. I'm going to say Sarpreet Singh. He has kind of been like, he's kind of controlled the the attack in some way. He's I remember the game against Sydney and Campbelltown when we got that win, and his balls to Christian were just amazing. And I think throughout the whole season he's just been a standout. You could say some games he hasn't been as of good, but I think he's only 19, going on 20, and he's already an NAB Young Player nominator for, I think it was December. So yeah, I think I'll go for him within the attacks.
Yeah, in terms of defensive player, including like Mandy and stuff at central defensive midfielder, and obviously even Mikhail Kopczynski dropping in at the back. Who do you think's been your best defensive player this season?
Stephen Taylor. It's just him having that leadership that he's grown from Newcastle in the Premier League. It's just really helped our defence a lot, and that's something that we've been lacking because Durante obviously is getting on in age, and you could say he was lacking off a bit. But I think with like new defenders, and obviously you got Dylan Fox there on the bench, Kopczynski now says he can play centre back. There's pressure on Durante's spot, and I think that's why he's had to step up in form. So yeah.
Yeah. In terms of top signings for the club this season, obviously we had a few imports. We had David Williams. I'm not sure what club he came from, but he just went from Melbourne Heart Melbourne City before when they were Melbourne Heart.
I think he just came off team of Malaysia.
Yeah, some Asian team. So David Williams, Philip Curto, Stephen Taylor, and then you've got Mitch Nichols and Ruben Way, who unfortunately I think Mitch Nichols played maybe one game and Ruben Way played I think part of the game, but they've left the club. And then Mandy as well. And I mean, who's been your best signing this season in terms of impact and just consistency? I mean, I know who I've got, and I'm pretty sure I know who you guys are both going to say, but you have your opinion.
It's really hard because I've got two on my mind, and that's Mandy or Curto. And it's hard because they're both, when they've played, they've been just really, they just bring something to the game that I think we've been lacking over the past seasons. But because I'm a goalkeeper, I'm going to probably say Curto. You saw the game against City. He made like how many saves? We could have lost that game 6-1. It was just amazing. And I think throughout the whole season, it's just he's never conceded a goal that was his fault. I think also, and we've had that in the in the past. Keepers have been slated, and because they've been poor. But Curto, I think he's been amazing all season, and and I think he kind of deserves. And I think by the end of the season, he's going to get a knock at his door, saying if he wants to come and play over in Europe. And it's only a matter of time if he keeps playing how he is, we'll be saying goodbye. But then again, you've seen Ollie Sale, how he played last week, so we're in good hands.
Yeah. Justin, in terms of top signing for the season, obviously as we mentioned before, who's your opinion on the top signing for the season?
I think it was a very good decision to put a goalkeeper as one of the international spots, as to get a good goalkeeper. Teams like Perth Glory that have Liam Reddy, he's quite the journeyman, and he's very prone to mistakes. And veteran Janjanovic,
let's not get started on veteran,
but I think they're both good players, but they definitely lack the sort of sharpness they had in their prime. And having Curto is like the difference between being 3 points, 1 point, and no points.
But if you look at them, it's like you can kind of say that.
It's like how unfortunately the Mariners are just woeful at defending. But Ben Kennedy is a good player, but with the team he's not doing well. And and now that with the recruiting by Mark Rudan, getting Stephen Taylor first, getting a solid defender, and then putting a goalkeeper in who will trust the defence. And I think Curto's really, he understands what his defenders are like. He knows Durante's not going to make it back, and he does some pretty good clearances. I know Rudan doesn't really like the footballing or the sweeper keeper. Ollie Sale's probably more like that. But Curto just clears it. If it's coming in, it's dangerous, it's out of it. Yeah, and he's very, he's not afraid to put his body on the line too.
Yeah, obviously we've just gone over a few topics for you guys to get our opinions and predictions of the game tomorrow and all that. But start off with you first, Eli. In terms of the season so far, great season, great atmosphere, and obviously there's a lot more optimism around the club at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's only our first season back on form, really. But where do you think we're going to finish this season, and what do you think we can do this year?
It's hard to predict, especially with this season. We know that basically from 6th till, so basically it's a fight between obviously first and second Perth and Melbourne. No one's going to be competing with them, and then it's obviously Sydney, Adelaide, City, and then us. So it's basically just depends. I don't think City have the firepower anymore, and they're just I think they're just lacking, especially in the midfield. But stuff City won't talk about them. So I think if we don't drop points, especially against the teams that we should be getting points against, I think we can make a top 4. And I think that's the most important thing at the moment. And like Ruben said, I think it's important to get a home final, so we have the power to push us through to the next rounds. And so I think we can get 4th. I think that's what we've got.
Justin, in terms of the overall season prediction, won't be too much longer. But where do you think we can finish in terms of placing and overall finishing after the finals?
I think we're going to be fighting with Adelaide for 4th or 5th, definitely, because the teams above us, I think we can salvage draws, but on good days we can get wins, and it's not too much of an ask for a home finals, because we do just as well away, and it's this season that I think the team's understood that going away doesn't mean we're just going to go for the draw or the loss. Like if we're losing 2-0, we don't just give up.
I think we've lost more at home than we have away, and that's something that hasn't.
But I think it's the idea or the mentality that either home or away or in the final, we're always trying to win, and sometimes it doesn't play well. We concede a couple more, but I think definitely we'll be fighting with Adelaide. I think Melbourne, Victory, and Perth are going to be top 2. Sydney, I see them slipping up occasionally, and I see City definitely dropping off. Their teams, like they've got Jamie McLaren back now, so they've got a good striker, but I seriously think the midfield department's quite lacking. And Adelaide, I think Adelaide can beat anyone like us.
On their good day.
Yeah, so they're very well capable of upsets. So I think 4th or 5th will be
Sweet. I'll just be quick with mine. I just pretty much I think in terms of overall placing, as Justin and Eli have said, I completely agree. We're not going to win the Premier's Plate. Like, that's not even realistic. Realistically now, because I think statistically no side that's finished below 5th has ever actually won the A-League. So I mean, obviously you can rewrite the script and stuff, but I think for how we've done this season, we really need to get a win tomorrow against the Victory at Eden Park, and push for that 4th spot, because not necessarily that we feel lacking in reward, but I think for how well we've done this season, to only just be like just in the finals, I mean, yeah, I think we deserve more than that personally. But I mean, I'd say we'll finish fourth, and I'd say we can go as far as the semis. Maybe if we turn up on the day, I'd say we could possibly get to the final, but I'd say winning it will be a tough ask. But there's no point being a fan of a club if you're not optimistic about the results and that. So I'd say maybe with a bit more defensive depth and a bit more attacking options off the bench as well as Kelly and Sheridan, I'd say we could challenge for the title. But as I say, I'm not too sure myself. So but this has been like sort of an overview of a few topics, top performers so far this season, our predictions for the remainder of the season and how we think we've done overall. And we're going to be doing some interviews tomorrow at the game at Eden Park. Obviously this video won't be released until after then, along with the interviews. But whoever of you guys come down, thanks for coming along. Obviously this is in advance, but for after you guys have been there, we're having a good weekend and all that. So and the whole reason we're up here is because of your guys' support as well. Obviously we wanted to have a weekend away as mates, but we just thought embrace the support nationwide, because obviously I think there's a few of you who actually wanted to get interviews at the game. So obviously if you guys do come along, thanks for your input. And this has been Phoenix Fan TV. This has been me, Eli, and Justin. Thank you guys for all the support throughout the season, and looking forward to the game tomorrow. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on, you Knicks.